people, like each other. And how is that expressed? I mean, if it's expressed negatively, then it tells you a lot about your potential future with someone based on how you feel about it, not how someone else feels about it. I don't want to deviate too much from the topic, but I'm that one guy, particularly brother, who will tell you in a minute, I have all the respect and love in the world for my mother and sisters and dozens of women in my family, but they do not have to like my woman.
No, that's fair.
Okay. So you're willing to get fired by your mom as
no, mom's gonna get fired.
No, that I'm not laughing at that.
Oh, it's a joke.
Because I read
but earlier you said
funny.
if your mom
I don't
doesn't
find that
like
funny. No, I don't find it funny. I'm not offended by it, but I take.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. So no one else knows what to do. That's why I'm not spend my life with you. I wanna please you any way I can. I wanna share my world. Don't you wanna see?
All right, everybody, welcome to our show, Dating and Marriage Perspective. Damn good to the last word. Sorry, I just had to laugh a little bit. You're joined by your co-hosts Amber and Karina, and our guest Marcus is back. And it is the holiday season. The holidays are here, and we thought we would do a few shows about just that. Like, decisions have to be made. We might have some couples who just met and are trying to figure out whether or not to spend the holidays together or invite them to their family or friend's house to spend the holidays. We might have some couples who have been together for a little while, and maybe last year's holidays weren't that great, or something happened and you're reconsidering or considering, or I don't know, something. Whether or not to bring your partner back to your family's house or your friend's house. So in any case, decisions have to be made. We're talking about whether or not to spend the holidays with your partner. And I'm going to shoot the first question.
Shoot your shot.
What's that?
Shoot your shot.
Do my question. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot my question. Does it matter how long you've been with your partner to ask them to spend the holidays with you and your family?
That's a good question. But before we do that,
yeah, you just read my mind.
Yes, everybody watching this, please make sure that you like, you comment, you subscribe, you follow us wherever you're watching us. So, all right. The question, does it matter how long you have known your partner?
Does it matter?
That's a good question.
Do you have an experience of?
Well, it's been so long since I newly dated and I invited somebody. Usually you wouldn't come over if I was dating you and you weren't my man. We weren't official. You're not coming over.
To spend the holidays with your family.
Exactly.
Okay. So the title has to be there. So there's that. You're committed. You're exclusive.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
At least for me. At least for me.
Okay.
What about you, Marcus?
So for me, it works in two ways. In order for me to ask a woman to spend a holiday or part of the holidays or any special occasion with me and my family, she definitely needs to be official. I was personally taught, and a lot of the guys I grew up with, you didn't take a girl you were just hitting corners with to family functions.
Did you say hitting corners with? That's a new one.
Yeah, I mean, this is dating and marriage perspectives, not Vlad TV. So
Vlad TV.
And at the same time, if I'm invited, I'm not going to go spend holidays with your family if I'm not serious about you or don't at least see potential in you.
Mhm.
I do want to say, though, the way that you worded it was very interesting. As you said, you're not coming over unless we're official. And that indicates something that men and women do. And I hope we can get to this later. My family is the family to spend the holidays with, and it's a privilege for you to be with my family instead of your family for the holidays. And that's an attitude that I don't know where yours is grounded in, but it's for some people it can be an arrogant one because there's commonly an assumption that what my family has to offer is so much more appealing than what your family has to offer for the holidays.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean. I mean,
Okay.
even if you're not coming home to my family, even if we're just dating,
Okay.
I just don't bring men around them because if you could just be the four corners guy, okay?
Yeah.
That's what you said. And why would my family need to waste time on that? Secondly, yeah, it is a privilege to meet my family. Third, my mom's going to grill your ass. So I have to make sure that you are, I'm not going to prep you. I'm going to let you know what's going to happen, but I have to let you know that I have to find out that you're like the top of the top. I'm not just going to bring any Tom, Dick, or Harry home.
Right. Right.
That is more so what I meant.
Yeah, so there needs, for me personally, there just needs to be something serious there. And I also want to acknowledge that when people treat something so intimate, I mean that the holidays, special occasions, birthdays, even funerals and weddings, it's kind of like the bosom of the family.
Mhm.
And the same way I'm not going to lay into any woman's or auntie's or grandmother's bosom, I'm going to be careful about nestling myself in the comfort and intimacy of someone else's family.
If you're just dating.
Unless it's serious, like if it, well, I could just be date. Now, see, I could just be dating you and be having the mindset like I'm looking at you as my potential woman, and in your mind, all we're doing is dating because a lot of us men can't tell you how serious we are right away. So we could, in your mind, just be dating. But for me, if I'm invited and I really like you and I really want to meet your family, and I'm using that as a metric as, to attach to whether or not I go further, then yeah, I would go. But I definitely need to have something established either in my mind or preferably, like you said, we have something official.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
about you?
so you did hit on a question that I was gonna throw out there. Is bringing your partner to meet your family or your friends for the holiday a measure to see how they get along with your family, or yeah, you might be in that mindset that I see more with this person, and even though we just met or whatever, I want to bring them around my family. Have you done that? What's the experience? Is this,
So for me, my family and friends is a complete cross section of American and other cultures and opinions and attitudes, politics and religions. So in a way, no. I personally, and a lot of guys, I mean,
So wait, in a way, no, you would not bring this person to your family as a.
I'm going to answer it. I'm going to bring you around, but whether or not you like them or they are really crazy about you has nothing to do with how I'm going to feel about you whatsoever. My mother doesn't need to be crazy about you. My sister doesn't need to be crazy. I couldn't care less. I know. So me personally, like I wouldn't let my family on the holidays or otherwise pick who who I'm with. Of course, though, it would be a great way to see if how respectful they are and how respectful you are. And if there are uncomfortable situations for you, for me, for us, for them, how everybody handles them. So to answer your question in that way, yes, it's an excellent learning opportunity. But if it doesn't go well, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop dating you. And if it goes extremely well, that doesn't mean I'm going to marry you.
Okay, so you would bring someone to your family's house. You don't have to have the title. You
No.
would bring them to your family's house, is what
Right.
I'm
Right.
hearing in this answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I just wanted to follow up with a question on that. What if you knew your mom didn't like her or like them? Would you think you would still bring them around for the holidays?
Okay. I guess there would have to be a reason, but if it was just some arbitrary reason, because of how she voted or what she does for a living or her leanings on women's health choices, if my mother doesn't like her for that reason, I mean, that's not, yeah, I would still bring her around. And if I'm serious about the woman and she's not welcome, I guess I won't be there.
Hmm. Really?
No, no, my mother's not gonna pick my
Oh.
woman. And I love my mama. I mean, I had a long career as a mama's boy,
Right.
but we have some really good marriages in our family. I'm divorced and good friends with my ex-wife, and none of us allowed our mothers to pick our wives.
Yeah. I guess maybe if it was just somebody that she just knew it wasn't going to work out, because moms know, and it's just she just really, well, yeah, okay, that's fair.
In the holiday context, though, um, it's so real, right? For the holidays, it's so difficult for families to pantomime and put on theater, most families, for the holidays, that I think that would be a good time to find out whether or not people, like each other, and how is that expressed. I mean, if it's expressed negatively, then it tells you a lot about your potential future with someone based on how you feel about it, not how someone else feels about it. I don't want to deviate too much from the topic, but I'm that one guy, particularly brother, who will tell you in a minute, I have all the respect and love in the world for my mother and sisters and dozens of women in my family, but they do not have to like my woman.
No, that's fair. Okay.
So you're willing to get fired by your mom as
No, you're
mama's
not gonna
boy.
get fired.
No, that I'm not laughing at that.
Oh, it's a joke.
Because
I
I
thought,
read
No, but
Karina's.
earlier you
No, no,
said
I don't find that funny.
if your
I
mom
don't find
doesn't
that
like.
funny. No, I don't find it funny. I'm not offended by it, but I take that seriously. See, I read your book, so I know how you feel about your mom and your family. And I love people that have such strong bonds with their family that they would even consider losing out on someone because they're like fire. Well, first and foremost, no, I wouldn't be willing to be fired. But fortunately for me, that doesn't even come into play in my family. We don't fire each other or disown each other because someone doesn't like someone's. But we have multiple instances of mothers-in-law and fathers-in-law and brothers and sisters-in-law who don't particularly care for a spouse, but they've learned how to eat the soylent green and get over it.
Yeah, no, I really do. I appreciate your answer. What I was reacting to was a little bit earlier, you mentioned that you wouldn't go to your family's house if your girlfriend wasn't welcome.
Yeah, but
And I probably just won't be there.
yeah. So yeah, that's a firing, I guess. But that has never come up for me. In considering that though, like if you were to present that as a possibility, I mean, no, I wouldn't be willing to be fired. I just can't picture my mother firing me based on who I'm dating. But I can picture someone having an argument or a disagreement at a holiday function and it affecting the next couple of get-togethers and special occasions. But that's something that is worth working on. If this person was serious enough to take over for the holidays, then I think it's also if they're serious enough to take over for the holidays, then it's worth working on.
Okay, let's move on. That was good. I feel like
I have a question for you, Amber.
Oh, okay. Well, you still didn't answer the question. You still didn't answer the question yet.
Who's my question? Me?
Yeah,
what was the question
posed to us about would you bring somebody home? When do you bring somebody home for the holidays?
So I've never brought somebody home for the holidays.
Really? Oh, well, is it ever?
Ever.
Oh.
I never have. And I'm on the same boat as you. Like if I'm bringing somebody home for the holidays, you mean something to me. Something, we're there, we're exclusive. You mean something to me. I mean something to you. You're meeting my dad. You're meeting my brothers. Come on. You got to be a pretty special person to spend the holidays with me. Now, my dad's been here for the holidays, so he met, you know, my ex-fiance. Me and my ex-fiance have gone to your family's Christmas a few years ago. That's a big deal. I mean, Amber is right on. You better get ready if you bring anybody around her family. And I think you know that a little bit too.
He does.
You better be prepared.
Yeah.
And do not interfere. Just toss them into the jungle.
Yes, yes.
And
well,
Mama Joe and Amber and Aunt Janet will have their way with him.
Right. Well, I just say go. You go. You know, everybody's going to be asking questions. Everybody's going to get to know you. And they're definitely going to let me know how they feel. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm on target with you. It's and plus I love Christmas. Like it's a very special holiday for me. It's besides my birthday, it's just a favorite holiday. So yeah, you need to be somebody that that is very special to me to spend the holidays with my family. And the other thing is my family's on the East Coast. So the trip itself, the financial investment, all the arrangements that come with that even plays a role in deciding whether or not to bring you on the East Coast.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah, but no, I've never really brought someone home to Boston.
Okay.
We'll
keep working on that.
We'll see.
All right, what was your question, Mama?
I was going to ask you what it was like when Brett first spent the holidays with your family. Do you remember that far back?
I don't remember that far back. I kind of do because we had just met in November, right? And then like 3 weeks later we were official, and then I met his dad. And then Thanksgiving came, and I'm not sure if we went our separate ways. No, I spent Thanksgiving with his dad. So
this is why I asked the question, because I know your courtship was mad short.
Super quick.
Real short.
Yeah. And he had met my mom, who, you know, we always said she gave the Spanish Inquisition. Like, she will make you ready for meeting anybody's family, because she's going to go at you. She's not going to be light about it. So I figured, listen, only the strong will survive. You know what I mean? Like, so,
you know, that comes up. It's you know, you're married and you have so much to be grateful for in just in what you're saying. Because I personally have been, you know, in the dating and which led to either an engagement or a marriage phase, and have gone through that grilling from the men and women of the family, but it wasn't so unpleasant that I felt unwelcome. But I have been in dating situations where, because of maybe my religious views or my political views, I felt and gone over for like the holidays or something, and felt an unwelcoming grilling like that. I mean, an unwelcoming one. Not like I really care about my child or my sibling or my niece, nephew, granddaughter, but my niece, my nephew, my niece, my granddaughter. It was more like, who are you and what are you? And then to have the person that you came with be okay with that, and feel like you needed to run this battery of tests just to be with them. Like, that was crazy, and that was enough for me to say bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was that experience like for you to say goodbye? Were the questions inappropriate? Were you like, what was it about the nature of those questions, or maybe that
We're
experience that
we're
led you to?
we're all supposed to be eating and enjoying a holiday meal, and I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at the same time with her family. It's like my resume, my social life, my lifestyle, my political, and it's like a barrage. Like this has happened more than once,
Hmm.
and that's okay, uh, because it's easy to answer questions that you don't feel insecure about. However, when you bring that up, what I felt was a little bit slighted by the person that I was dating, because when I bring that up, like, hey, what was up with your family? And hey, where were you? You were sitting there watching these people hit me back to back with this interview, and you didn't say anything. Well, that's just what we do. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. Now, what we all know is the dating phase is the best of us for
Mm.
most people.
That's true.
So
You mean how you
once I get
protect yourself?
married to you, so if their input is so important when we're just dating, what happens when we get married? You're not going to automatically become protective of the boundaries of our relationship just because we got married. And I'm not marrying nobody's mama or they daddy or they brother or they sister. And that's what that felt like. Like
Mm.
I had to date those people too. And I wasn't about to do that.
That's interesting because I feel like, um, yeah, you are dating my whole family because my family, because if you ever leave, who's going to be there? Right? My family is always going to be there for me versus,
Right.
well, I mean, there you could have a conversation. Now, a person could have a conversation like, oh, maybe you can, back off on some of the questions. But no, because I'll tell you when I met my brother's wife, I grilled her too. I mean, it's just something that we do, and I probably asked her some inappropriate questions. Now looking back, I'm sure I asked her some inappropriate questions that it's really more just being protective. And are you going to be okay? Are you going to ride or die for my brother, my family, things like that? And so
I
that's
said
how I see my family doing it too.
I said one thing to my sister's husband when they were passing the camera around after they got married, and that thing pissed him off for years. Now I don't know. I think he might still have a problem with it, but it was true. I never grilled him. He never had to prove himself to me. My sister attempted to present him in that way, and I told her the only thing that I cared about is that you approve of him. Don't let me or your dad or mama have too much input, because he's marrying you, not us. And they've been married now for 13 years. So she took my advice. If she hadn't, she wouldn't have been married to him, because my mother is something else, and she can be. She doesn't know the difference between her business and your business.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's what her relationship with her daughter. But I said one thing to him, and it remains true.
Okay.
You and I are cool as long as you and my sister are cool.
Mm.
And I meant it. And so, they can have issues in their marriage, like every textured and well-worn marriage should have. But my sister is ultimately, I believe, generally happy. And so I'm happy with him.
Okay.
See, that's all that matters to me. And I feel so strongly convicted about that I would not be willing to let multiple holidays be about whether or not I meet all these criteria of someone else. I won't subject myself to that.
I actually do want to take it back to a question about the holidays too. So when let's say you're official with somebody, whose house do you go to for the holidays then?
So that's one of the reasons why I like the topic. And I'll try to not be so run on. I in the first early part of my marriage had to kind of get my wife on board with knowing that, as even she had a bigger family out here because I had fewer relatives out here, but that didn't mean I wanted to spend every single holiday just with her family and not my mother. So we needed to come up with, and this happened in other relationships too. And there was some travel back to New York with my previous engagement, being engaged before then. we just had to figure out, okay, this year, your mother gets Christmas, my mother gets Thanksgiving. This year will be 22nd to the 24th with your family, and then the 25th and New Year's Eve with my family. Some compromise there, you know. I think it should be split in half. Or sometimes people don't care one way or the other. I do care one way or the other. So I want to have something with my family, but I will give something to yours too. And so the way you had talking about people don't get to come over, I remember when you said that, I was thinking, what if I don't want to come? Like, what they get to have me come over?
Oh yeah, I thought you were feeling a certain kind of way about that, but yeah, no, then you know, you only
I'm
come over
glad
if
it
you're
came
invited.
through.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's free for you can say you don't want to come over, that's fine, but trust me, you want to come over for the holidays at our house.
Well, I met your family, and I could see why you feel that way, because they are beautiful people. And you know, I think that one of the common things that comes in relationships, people date and they okay, so you and I tell each other about our families, and let's say my family is kind of picturesque and your family's not. You know, there may be some social problems in your family, some maybe a lack of comforts or resources. I would be remiss to suggest that because your family doesn't have it sweet, nice, and Hallmark movie like, that you would automatically rather be with my family than yours. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a common thing that comes up. Like, whose family's better? Who has the biggest house? Who has the funnest parties and the funnest party favors? I hear people talk about it every year, and it's a common arguing point among dating couples.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
Hallmark
interesting.
movies.
Oh yeah, you do.
Okay, so I have a little bit of experience with what Marcus just mentioned. When I was seeing this guy do from up north, I don't, you know who I'm referring to. My
I
sister,
know who he is too.
Oh, do you? Oh.
I read the book more than once.
from a few years ago, long time ago. Yeah. My sister was in town, so she was here for the holidays, and we went to my girlfriend Maria's house. She has sisters, they all have kids. Mom and dad were there. And it was just a very vibrant, kids running around, food everywhere, just informal, and just, you know, TV's on and music's on and kids are, you know, screaming. It was just fun. It was fun. And then we drive to meet my then boyfriend's. We drive to meet him and spend the rest of Thanksgiving holiday with his friends. And my sister was like, "Man, this is fucking boring. Just bland. Everything was just had a place, and the space there wasn't much to move around. There wasn't a whole lot of room to move around. It was just, you know, you sit on a chair, you stay there, right? So you're not really whatever. But I think that matters. Now, I'm not saying like everything has to be decorated properly and whatever, who's doing a better holiday than the other. But I think the atmosphere and the fun behind it matters. And we may have to have a discussion about your family's boring. Maybe we just stay there for the appetizer. I wouldn't say it in those words, but I think the amount of time you spend with a family, whereas you're just watching Doogie Howser, I don't know, right before you cut the turkey, and no one's talking.
Yeah.
And that matters how much time you spend in someone's house versus, you know, another person's house or your partner's house where it's fun and people are taking shots.
Karina, I think, well, what I'm getting out of what you're saying is, you know, people also need to be considerate of whether or not you have a good time on those holidays. I mean, and that should be important to me. Like, I don't want you dreading this. I want you to look forward to the holiday. I don't want to see. I would not want a woman that I'm dating to see it as this impending holiday where she's going to be bored or miserable or unhappy. Some women are really festive and they want to see properly decorated and all that. And some families don't do that because they focus on, because my family doesn't do that. My family doesn't do poinsettias and all that, but we really do get into the holidays, giving, food, being around each other, old stories, drinking, loving, hugging. And then on the other hand, a woman I dated, her family had all that and a lot of room to move around, and it was still just as austere and banal as it could be. But they had all the trappings and all the paraphernalia. Um, it's such a challenge, and that's why it's so important to talk about, because you have me who could take Christmas and leave it, New Year's, any holiday, 4th of July, I don't care about it. But they start talking about Thanksgiving, and no, I don't want your cardamom cranberry sauce, and I don't want to go over there and have your father fry another turkey and all that. No, I want to taste sage and greens and pork parts and all that. So Thanksgiving, I have to decide, and that has to be, for me. It's really important that that's taken into consideration. At the same time, I need to, as a opposite spouse or significant other, also take into consideration what's important to you about Christmas. So you start talking about being able to move around and have things be kind of fun and warm and maybe a little festive. Well, if that's important to you and I know my family doesn't offer that, I shouldn't continue to ask you every year to go and sit in my family's home who doesn't do any of that. There's a little give and take there. Because remember, we're building a life together. And I mean, if we have children or dogs, we could, well, the day will come, we start our own tradition and people start coming to us.
That's true. Let me ask, can I ask a question? Is there since it sounds like Thanksgiving is really important for you, Marcus, and Karina, Christmas is for you, would it affect if you decided to bring somebody around that you were newly dating?
So you mean like, okay, if like I'm newly dating someone and there was Thanksgiving was happening,
Yeah.
and would it affect what?
Would it affect whether you bought them around for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Because how you felt about that holiday?
By the time we've gone on a first date, I've heard enough to get me interested in you. And if we're continuing the date, I'm continuing to see potential in us being together. So I see the potential. That's all that's important to me, as a man. But for so many women, they have to come as a girlfriend, not as a girl you're dating. That's a common thing with women. They need that. A lot of women want that title, that affirmation, whatever. For me, you just have to be cool. Um, and what it, yeah, I mean, you just have to continue to be cool, one date at a time, I guess. And
I would
yeah,
think
so
men do that too, though. I would think that I know men that do that too, that they don't necessarily just bring around any female just because they're dating them. Yeah, they may see somebody future, but they're not going to bring a woman around if they're just casually dating.
I don't think most mature men continue to date any female. They may continue to hit a corner with any female, and the chick they're hitting corners with, if he has any, I don't want to cast aspersions on anyone, but an appropriate level of dignity will stop a man, most men, from bringing around a woman who he doesn't respect, you know, and see potential in. But then you have some people, we've got one or two in my family, I won't say which side, so in case one of them ever sees this, that they'll bring in, I mean, just whoever was available. And they have that reputation. And so when they get in relationships, their relationships generally aren't supported by the family. Because as you ladies both pointed out, no, like as you pointed out, like when the chips are down, these are the people that are gonna, be there for me. So that's where the catch the texture comes into play for me, because I do understand the importance of the support of the family, and you can't expect. I don't think I can reasonably expect my family to support my relationships if they see me in another one, a new one every month.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. That'd be crazy.
And what about a little respect for the woman too? It's the holidays. You know, people just assume if she's with you for the holidays, either she's some foundling or orphan, or she's sacrificed being with her holidays to come be with you. Who
Yes.
is she? What is she?
Mm-hmm.
You know, have that respect and introduce her as such.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. Just introduce her.
Well, I mean, you can
She'll be
introduce
sitting in
her
the
a lot of
corner.
ways.
You'll be sitting her in the corners by herself, and that's how you'll know what you know.
Now that would never you don't, yeah, not in my family, and not dealing with me. So like, you know, a woman who I bring to a birthday party or the holidays, you know, that would probably be the assumption that she's special to me at
Yeah.
that given moment, and she'll be treated that way.
Well,
And
that's because
if she's not, I guess I get fired by mommy,
yeah.
Karina, because my mommy will hear about it if she slights a woman that I'm with.
But that also is because you've laid the foundation for
Yeah,
your family of what you know who you will bring around.
right.
So yeah. Anyways, does it matter to you, Kate? Like, is there a difference between like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas?
If my family is there, like even outside of holiday conversations, my dad's birthday or my brother's birthday, whatever, and my family's gonna be there, you need to be somebody special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna be privy to the Vio family.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, Amber, some people use it as an interview process. So you may not be special yet, but some people will say, damn, you survived Christmas with my family? You're a keeper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Well, let's wrap this up. As always, Marcus, thank you so much for being here. You know, we appreciate it. We appreciate your insight. It's really nice just to get like a man's point of view. So it's like I see there's a lot of commonality, and then I see there's definitely some differences.
So I definitely want to thank you, ladies. I think there's at least, I can't wait to go back and look at this, but there's at least two topics you guys brought up that really, like, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, they were really provocative statements. Karina made the one about firing. Like, I'm going to think about that as I continue my drive. And then I'm going to actually probably call my mama and ask her if she would ever fire me. I don't think she would.
Well, actually, ask her that question. That would be really interesting. I'd like to circle back.
Yeah, because that's never come up. And then you give me something to think about viewing. I don't view coming to my family's home as a privilege for you. I view you coming to my family's home as a privilege for us to get to know you. And that's our culture. We have a lot of pride in our family. We don't interview for new people, but when people, I mean, we're not lonely people, but we consider it a privilege to meet you.
Oh,
and
wow.
not the other way around. Yeah, that's how we are in my family.
Yeah, see, that's a whole nother we have to circle back on that one too. That's very interesting.
So thank you both for pissing me off today.
You're welcome.
You're so welcome.
We do it with pride.
And thank you for having me, and thank you for your patience with me earlier.
No, thanks for joining us, and we appreciate you. For all of our subscribers, viewers, if you haven't liked this freaking episode, please hurry up, like it, subscribe, make sure you continue with following us, and we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.